this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David being my name, and hope you guys are really having spab fun wherever you are. Now, today is really one of the important days that I'm going to come through for us to obviously exhaust this beautiful game, and we're powered by St. Maria Goretti SS Katende. O and A level admissions open in there for you, and you can register via that website or the email, or you can call that number that you see onto that well-designed artwork in there for you. So that is what we call St. Maria Goretti SS Katende. And from there, we obviously jet into the most important aspect of this video. And what is it all about? It's all about the game between Arsenal and the club known as Tottenham Hotspur in there. Big game that is going to be played at what we call the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And that stadium capacitates 62,850. You know that very well. So that is the capacity of people that occupy that particular stadium in there for you. So from there, we obviously get into what we call the head-to-head stats. Remember, Arsenal comes into this game of football knowing that they went ahead to obviously lose in their previous 3 games, right? Sorry, 2 games. Are they 2? I think they've gone ahead to drop points. You know, against Brentford, away game. Against Wolverhampton Wanderers, it was an away game. So they come well knowing that it's not business as usual, right? They need to obviously come up, raise up to the occasion, and put out a performance that no one will obviously think about in there for you. So that's all about a club known as Arsenal. For Spurs, they're having a new manager, Igor Tudor, who is really well experienced across Europe, and we will just wait and see how things will obviously pan out for this particular man who comes in through to really prove a point. And they've gone ahead to give him conditions that if at all he pushes Spurs and we finish into a very beautiful place, obviously he will earn himself a permanent spot at the team known as Tottenham Hotspur. That is it. So let's get into what we call the head-to-head, right? And see what we have for you, the viewers of this beautiful channel. Obviously, Spurs is 16th on the Premier League table, and Arsenal is first. Spurs has 29 points and Arsenal has 58 points. They are topping the league. Spurs has scored 36 goals. Arsenal has gone ahead to score 52 goals. And Spurs has conceded 37 goals. Arsenal has gone ahead to concede 20. 207 shots by Spurs, 98 shots on target, 109 shots off target, and 81 shots blocked by the opponents. On the side of Arsenal, 278 shots, 133 shots by Arsenal on target, 145 shots off target, 113 shots have been blocked. Tottenham average a passing accuracy of 81.96 per game. Arsenal averages a passing accuracy of 84.81%. Right? Then, 6 points gained from a losing position. And obviously, that is Spurs, and Arsenal has gone ahead to gain 9 points from losing positions. Spurs has dropped 12 points from losing positions from winning position, and Arsenal has gone ahead to drop 9 points from losing position in there for you. The previous Premier League game, Newcastle went to the stadium of Tottenham and beat them by 1-2, and then Wolverhampton Wanderers drew with Arsenal 2-2 in there for you. So that is it for the club of Arsenal. They haven't been performing very well, by the way, and their weapon that has gone ahead to keep them at the top of the table for this long has turned out to be their weakness in the most important part of the season. And what's that? Arsenal has been that team that rarely concedes goals, but as it stands, Arsenal is conceding goals for fun. They are conceding goals, and when did they last keep a clean sheet? If we had obviously come out and obviously discuss that, when do you remember the last time Arsenal went ahead to obviously keep a clean sheet? It's been really long. I think against Sunderland, they kept a clean sheet. It was 3-0 in there. But these previous two games that Arsenal's going to have to play have turned out to be very, very, very horrible in there for you. So that is the club of Arsenal for you. And I think they really need a lot of things to do as themselves in there for you. So for the club of Arsenal, obviously, they're really struggling to obviously get back to what we call winning ways. And is this the perfect game for Arsenal to obviously discuss about winning ways? I don't think that this is the best game because it requires a lot. It being a derby, this game can go either sides. This game can go either sides in there for you. So that is the club of Arsenal for you. So from there, we obviously head into what we call the previous meetings. They've met 187 times between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs has won 59. Arsenal is going to have to win 78 with 50 draws in there. So the previous meetings, 23rd November this season, Arsenal beat Spurs 4-1 at the Emirates. Our club friendly, Spurs beat them 1-0 away in China. And in the Premier League last season, Arsenal beat them 2-1 at the Emirates. That is Arsenal for you and the previous meetings in there for you. Now, we head to what we call the team news. Team news for Arsenal and Spurs. For the side of Arsenal, the team news is as follows, right? 1. Arsenal are having Merino Mikel injured, but Kai Havertz is expected to be back for this particular encounter. Then Odegaard also, Max Dorfman is also back in training. So almost every player at Arsenal is now back, apart from Mikel Merino, right? When we go at Spurs, they're really having a long list of players. First and foremost, with their captain, Romero, is out. He's serving the second of a 4-match ban, That is it. Then, Richarlison is expected to be back, but the manager is not going to use him because he thinks that he needs more time to recover. Now, Wilson Osbert is out for the season after rupturing his ACL. Pedro Porro is having a thigh injury. Dejan Kulusevski is having an injury. James Maddison ACL. Muhammad Kudus a thigh injury. Kevin Danso ankle injury. Destiny Udogi thigh injury. Lucas Bargel is having an ankle injury. Ben Davies is having an ankle injury, and Rodrigo Bentancur is having a thigh injury. So their physio room is really overcrowded. That is it. So that is it for what we can talk about the team news. Saka and Trossad were seen as casualties for the game of Arsenal versus Wolves away, but they are back. They are back, and the manager told us in the presser that none of the players will miss out of action. All the players are really going to be available. That is it. So that takes us into the probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal, and then we'll bring you the match facts, and then later, what we'll obviously come up with. We'll come up with what we call the match prediction that will be highly anticipated. Now, the system that Arsenal is going to be using is a 4-3. Arsenal is going to be using a system of 4-3-3 in there, and it will come up with the following. David Raya in goal. That is it. No doubt about that. And then we'll obviously have a player who will play as a right back, and I all know to it that it will be Julian Timber coming up to represent to the fullest. That is Julian Timber for you. And Ben White will obviously wait in a little bit. Left back, I think it's going to be Hinkapie, with Ricardo Carafiori coming off the bench and obviously scoring that own goal. I don't think that the manager will reward him with a start. Right-sided centre-back, I think it's going to be William Saliba, and a left-sided centre-back serving in as Gabriel Magalhaes in there for you. So that is the back five for the club of Arsenal, and I think it will come up and obviously do the job for Mikel Arteta. In the CDM area, you will talk about a player called Martin Zubimendi coming up and representing into that position. A box-to-box midfielder is going to be Declan Rice in there. Now, the big question is going to be on the number 10 position. Why the number 10 position? The previous two games that Arsenal is going to have to play against Wigan and against Wigan and against Wolves, Saka has been played in the number 10 position, but I think the experiment hasn't obviously gone ahead to work out. So, playing Saka in the number 10 position against Wolverhampton Wanderers, to me, was not an idea that I would have gone ahead to buy. Yet you really have a player like Eze. What message are you sending to Eze Ebelechi? You know? I think you would have gone ahead to give Eze, having gone ahead to perform very well against a team known as having gone ahead to play very well against a team known as Wigan, though you cannot obviously equate its strength to a team known as Wolves, I think you would have gone ahead to start him because he was the only number 10 that Arsenal really had that was fit. But the manager didn't obviously go ahead to start him. So, we have Ebelechi Eze. For me, he has to start. And the previous game he played them, I think he went ahead to net in a hat-trick for himself into the North London derby that was played at the Emirates in there. Then we have to go to the right forward, Noni Madueke or Bukayo Saka. Saka scored a goal in the midweek, and now he'll obviously come up and really put in a very huge shift that is really expected in there. Then left forward, I think it's going to be Leandro Trossad. Martinelli starting the midweek. Leandro Trossad coming up to obviously start in this particular encounter. Then leading the line, obviously, is going to be Victor Gyökeres, who really looked bad against a team known as Wolverhampton Wanderers. A man that I'd even gone ahead to bet for that he will be on target, but the manager took him off and brought on Gabriel Jesus in there. So that is my probable starting 11 for Arsenal as they prepare to take on Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow. That is my match preview. So I wait to see what your input is about this, you know, and I want to see what your thoughts are, because I know you do have those ones that you need in and those that you don't need. Now we go to Spurs. Bukayo, Gray, Dragsin, Van der Ven, Spence. That is the back four. Conor Gallagher, Paulinho and Sa. Midfield three. Cole Muwani, Solanke and Javis Simons. That will be the front three for the side of Spurs. That's how I believe Spurs will obviously go ahead and obviously line up to really put out the required effort, because this man needs these points badly. I tell you, the man needs these points badly. Now, let's head to what we call the match facts that we all need to be well conversant about before we obviously drop in our predictions. 1. Spurs have lost their last 3 Premier League home games against Arsenal, as many as they had in the previous 23. 10 wins, 10 draws. They last lost 4 in a row against them between 1952 and 1955. So, it is really hard for Arsenal to really win 4 in a row, you get? And this has happened a lot. So, something upsetting might happen, you know, against a team known as Tottenham Hotspur, and they're really having a new manager. And the new manager bounce is highly anticipated. Arsenal have won 6 of their last 7 Premier League games against Spurs, 1 draw, including each of the last 4. They last won 5 league games in a row against them between January 1987 and January 1989. So, we wait and see what comes out of that. Then, Tottenham are winless in their last 8 Premier League games against 4 draws, 4 losses. They had they last had a longer run within the same campaign between August and November 2027, and that were 9. Tottenham are the only side without a Premier League win so far in 2026, drawing 4 and losing 4 of their 8 games. It's their longest run without a win from the start of a calendar since 1994. First, that was 10 in there for you. Since the last league defeat against Spurs in May 2022, Arsenal have lost just one of their 21 away London derby matches in the Premier League. 14 wins and 6 draws, going down to 1 at Fulham in December 2023, meaning that they last lost a London derby away in 2023. That was coming to the end of the year 2023 as we headed into 2024. Tottenham have scored more Premier League goals via defenders, both overall 10 and as a percentage of their total goals, 28% than any other side in this season. So the defenders of Spurs really score goals. Cristiano Romero, who is really out, and Van der Ven are really deadly. Even Pedro Porro, my dear, he is another player that you have to look at and really give a lot of respect for what he does. This will be Igor Tudor's first match as Spurs manager, the only manager whose first ever game in charge of Tottenham Hotspur was a match against Arsenal is Glenn Hoddle, who lost 2-1 in the FA Cup semi-final at Old Trafford in April 2001. Oh my God. That is really very shocking. So we wait and see how that really happens. And new Spurs manager Igor Tudor has won his first match in charge in each of his last 5 spells at the club, starting with his second spell at Hujdang Split in February 2020 and with Verona, Marseille, Lazio and Juventus since. So a very big attention should be paid to that, because this team hasn't obviously gone ahead. This man hasn't obviously gone ahead to lose his first game when he's in charge, and that is what we call history. Does it repeat itself tomorrow or not? Ebelechi Eze has scored 6 goals in his last 4 Premier League appearances against Spurs, including 3 in 2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, netting a hat-trick in his first appearance against them for Arsenal in November as reverse fixture in there for you. So he scored a hat-trick against them at the Emirates, and he has scored 6 goals against them, meaning that these are good customers for him. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has won 41 of his 68 Premier League London derbies as manager, the best win rate at 60.3 of any to take charge of at least 20. Overall, only Arsene Wenger 106 from 194 games, and Mourinho 42 from 70. Has won more derbies, London derbies, than the Spaniard. Now, we head into what we call the match prediction. 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. That is it. 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but for me, I go for a 2-1 win. Let's go to the live chat because I feel like shutting this down. Insiko Cosmos, good evening, Rokani. I'm seeing Arsenal win 3-1. All right. Powell says, if Amateta, I really start Raya. I rest Raya. All right. Leonardo Mohanguzi, I think it's a must win for Arsenal, since they have lost points in the last 2 games. Obviously, it's a must-win for the club of Arsenal, because if Arsenal doesn't win this game, then City will obviously be closing in, and all they want is to see to it that they really put this to a halt. So, guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David is my name, and hope you guys are really having super fun. That's what I had for you. I've gone ahead to obviously break down everything that you guys need to know, and now I'm waiting for your reactions in the comment section below. Not so, because I know you guys are really going to be flocking in here, and you are waiting for the great news and opportunities that will happen if you ever happen to really watch that game that is tomorrow. So Rokan David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I love you, and continue to do the needful as expected, and put out good stuff that the world will obviously be well conversant of. I'm out. Bye.